What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today we are starting with some breaking news that dropped just a few minutes ago. Dana White has announced that Islam Makhachev will be vacating the lightweight belt and moving up to welterweight to fight JDM. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. So where does that leave the lightweight division? It has been announced that Ilia Topuria will fight Charles Oliveira for the vacant 155-pound title.
Current lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is going to move up to the welterweight division to face Jack Della Maddalena. What do we all love about Islam? If he had moved up to fight Bilal, he was a 5-1 favorite. Moving up to fight Jack, the odds makers have this fight at even. This guy is a beast. Islam is the best. Jack, obviously, coming off fight of the night performance, beating Bilal, winning the title. He didn't take any major damage in that fight, so he's accepted the fight. I'll let you guys know when I pick a time and date, but this fight is definitely happening. UFC 317 International Fight Week, June 28th. You all know Ilia Topuria, undefeated, 16-0, vacated his featherweight title. And now he's moving up to lightweight, and he will face former lightweight champion and number 2 ranked Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. Yes, vacant. Yes.
Makhachev is moving up to the welterweight division to face Jack Della Maddalena. What do we all love about Islam? If he had moved up to fight Bilal, he would have been a 5-1 favorite. Moving up to fight Jack, the odds makers have this fight even. This guy is a beast. Islam is the best. Jack is coming off a fight of the night performance where he beat Bilal and won the title. He did not take any major damage in that fight, so he accepted this matchup. I will let you guys know when I pick a time and date, but this fight is definitely happening at UFC 317 during International Fight Week on June 28th. Ilia Topuria is undefeated at 16-0. He vacated his featherweight title and is now moving up to lightweight. He will face former lightweight champion and number 2 ranked Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. Yes.
Told you this a million times. It was never going to be an interim. There was no way in hell that someone as smart and as shrewd as Ilia Topuria was going to vacate his title to fight for an interim. It was always going to be Ilia versus Islam for the undisputed belt, or if Bilal lost, it was going to be Ilia versus Charles for the vacant title. Bilal lost, and thus it all played out as we have been telling you it was going to play out for the last several months, or at least the last couple months.
Your official card is on the screen. Here are some reactions to the news, with Ilia Topuria saying on June 28th, another dream will come true. I will be champion of the lightweight division. Charles, my apologies in advance. I'm just fighting for my dreams. It is unfortunate that Makhachev ran away. 17-0. Ariel Helwani reacted to all the fights being announced.
That we have here is that we're not going to get to see Ilia versus Islam yet. And that's a fight that I thought was, I guess, matchup-wise, the most exciting fight that the UFC could put together and all. But I think in terms of skill for skill, two guys that are in their prime or close to their prime in Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, 2 pound-for-pound guys. And so we end up losing that one. Hopefully that comes together sometime down the line. But in the meantime, I think that there's, like a lot of politics involved, right? Because Ilia says, hey, I want to move up to become 2-division champion. They probably offer the fight to Islam, and Islam says, hey, pump the brakes here. I've been asking to move to welterweight for a while to become a 2-division champion. I've got more title defenses than this guy. He only defended the title once. I'm the number 1 pound-for-pound guy. Shouldn't I have that luxury before he does?
And before we continue again, we do have another favor to ask. Can you help us reach 200,000 subscribers on the MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA news? Seriously, we rarely miss a day. Shout out to both Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev for moving up and vacating their respective UFC championships. I wanted the two of them to fight each other, and hopefully that happens at some point down the road. At least they are not holding up the featherweight and lightweight divisions. Respect. It is great to see the title mess at heavyweight being avoided elsewhere. Islam gets a shot at 170 pounds and the lightweight division moves on. Topuria versus Oliveira is a blockbuster, and it crowns a new undisputed king. What a fight. I told you all it would be Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria for the title. I do not like it, but I guess I accept it. Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria for the vacant lightweight title at UFC 317. Respect to Islam for not holding up the division. I want Charles to shock the world again, but I think it will be very hard for him to win that fight. I also think Pantoja run ends against France. Why would Charles fight for the vacant title and not Arman, the number 1 contender? It is an absolute disgrace that Arman is being left out of this. It stinks that we will likely never see Topuria versus Islam, but this will still be a fun fight. Charles Oliveira has to be one of the most overrated names in UFC history. Dana White is quick to make other champions vacate belts, but Aspinall is still waiting and fans feel cheated. The fight everyone wanted was Topuria versus Islam, and people loved that idea. Dana needs to start showing fighters who the boss is. They are getting spoiled and it is making people lose interest. Look at what Jones has been doing in the heavyweight division. He should be next. If he does not fight Aspinall, it is time to vacate the belt, just like what happened here with Ilia versus Charles Oliveira being announced. Here are some reactions to Islam vacating his belt and fighting Jack Della Maddalena. Why is Islam vacating it when the whole point of moving up was to hold 2 belts? Some fans think Islam is going to lose to Jack and have no belts to go home to. You duck and you get punished. Jones is next and people believe he will get stripped too. Others say Islam would rather give up the belt than fight Topuria. Some fans think Islam wins the welterweight title, defends it, then drops back down to fight Ilia to become a simultaneous champion before retiring at 30-1. That would be huge for Islam. His body is considered large for lightweight, so he no longer has to cut extreme weight. Others are confused because they thought the whole plan was for Islam to become a double champion. Some fans even say the alleged best fighter in the sport vacated and ran from a featherweight, moving up. For people saying it was time for Islam to move up, others point out that if Belal had won, he would have stayed at lightweight. Some believe Islam vacated to help the UFC make Ilia versus Oliveira a bigger fight, and that he will come back down later to reclaim the belt. They say it is all marketing. With this news, Dana White also revealed that Khamzat Chimaev will fight Dricus du Plessis in a rematch at UFC 319 in Chicago.
We're returning to the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, August 16th for the first time in 6 years. In the main event, the middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis will defend his belt against Khamzat Chimaev. Dricus' last 4 wins have come over former champs Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker. He hasn't lost in 7 years. 20 of his 23 wins have come by finish, and now he faces the undefeated 16-0 Khamzat Chimaev. This is a bad fight, and the fight you've all been waiting for. UFC 319 is back at the United Center in Chicago on August 16th. And stay tuned for more information.
With the fight being announced, who do you think will win? Here are some reactions from the MMA community. That is almost an 11-month gap for Chimaev. People are saying the UFC is wasting his prime. Many believe this is going to be a war and do not expect a fast fight between these two. The MMA community is excited and calling this a must-watch matchup. Some fans say the Ilia fight would have been great as well, but believe he is avoiding Arman and chose to fight Charles instead, which they think would be an easier win. Others say the fight will not be very competitive. Fans also say the UFC has struggled lately with some of the cards, but it is safe to say they are back with this one. Some believe Dricus is about to pull off one of the most random ways to win. Many are glad this fight is finally happening and say it is one of the most anticipated matchups that actually had a chance of being made. Fans say Dana White is having a huge day and could make it perfect by announcing Jon Jones is vacating the heavyweight title due to inactivity and setting up a Tom Aspinall title fight. Some think if Chimaev takes Dricus down early, he could secure a submission, while others believe Dricus could win in the later rounds. Many believe the judges will not be needed for this fight. Some predict Chimaev finishes it inside 2 rounds, while others cannot wait to see Dricus fight someone like Caio Borralho if things change. There are also fans wondering if Chimaev will even make it to fight night without pulling out. Some joke about what will happen first, a Dricus injury or a Chimaev visa issue. One fan broke it down by saying Chimaev is the better wrestler with stronger grappling and more dominance and has been training his whole life. That same fan still picked Dricus by 3rd round knockout, saying Chimaev will gas when takedowns stop working and get finished. The reactions are all over the place and the hype for this fight is real.